This is how Ten Hag's tactics beat Xavi. On the ball, Manchester United set up with Martinez, Varane and Wan-Bissaka at the back. In the midfield, Casemiro and Fred occupied the central channels, while Shaw and Bruno Fernandes were on the wings. Sancho and Weghorst tried to be between Barcelona's midfielders and defenders. Rashford played with a free role because he played as a central striker, but also he moved to the left. On Barcelona's build-up, Manchester United pressed with 5 players, but Barcelona had numerical superiority with 7. Usually in the build-up, Fred was close to De Jong to avoid passing lines through the central channels. When Man United dropped back to their half, they defended with 2 blocks. Sancho and Fred joined the strikers. Meanwhile, Casemiro joined the center backs, therefore they left space between the lines where Barcelona's players tried to receive the ball. However, Casemiro and Martínez were aggressive to recover the ball in this zone. Barca created danger when they overcame Manchester's pressure. They were pressing with 4 players and tried to cover the central channels. Nevertheless, De Jong attracted to Bruno Fernandes and this left free to Balde. Thus, when Ter Stegen played with him, Wan-Bissaka had to jump to the pressure. Therefore, this created a space behind him, but also behind Sancho and Fred. On the other hand, when Manchester United tried to play out from the back, Barcelona pressed with 2 strikers to the 3 center backs. They performed individual marking in the midfield, but it was important how the midfielders like Sancho occupied the free spaces to get right of his mark. Thus, when he received the ball in this space, Rashford and Shaw are creating space for Martínez, since they attracted to Rafinha and Koundé. As a consequence, Barcelona's players had to drop back quickly, and also the midfielders were stick to the central channels because Shaw and Fred occupied this space. Rashford, Shaw, Weghorst and Fred attracted to 6 opponents. Busquets was dropping back to cover the space, but this gave time for Lisandro Martinez to look for the right pass. As Manchester United's midfielders and strikers were attracting to Barcelona's players, this created a space on the opposite wing for Bruno Fernandes, who placed his body to stop Balde and received with space, but as he didn't have time, he couldn't shoot properly. Barcelona took the lead by a penalty kick scored by Lewandowski. In order to be more proactive, Ten Hag brought in Antony, moved Sancho to the left, Bruno was playing as a number 10 and Rashford as a central striker. After a throw-in played by Luke Shaw, Kessie intercepted the ball, but he was pressed by Rashford and he couldn't control the ball. When Sancho received the ball, Rashford kept running forward and this created a passing line for Bruno Fernandes, who had a space between Araujo and Busquets. With his first touch, he turned and gained space over Busquets. Antony was dragging to Balde and this created a space between De Jong and Balde. Fred received in this space. With his first touch, he moved away from De Jong, who was close to him, and this gave him a space to shoot and scored. Thanks to the substitutions and to the early goal in the second half, Barcelona started to be anxious and lost easy balls. Araujo was pressed by Rashford. Sancho, Bruno and Antony tried to cover the passing lines. Yet when he tried to jump this pressure, Casemiro was ready to recover the ball and start the offensive transition. Antony was usually free on the right side because Balde moved forward to play as a fake winger, and this gave space to Antony. Thanks to that, Barcelona only had 3 at the back to stop Rashford, Bruno and Antony. Xavi's men were also disorganized in the pressure, since they pressed with 5 players, but they were unbalanced since 3 players are over 1 player, and this created a space for Bruno Fernandes. Bruno played fast with Wan-Bissaka. Varane started to make a run and he attracted to one midfielder. As a consequence, consequence, Wan-Bissaka was only against Balde. If he overcomes Balde, the midfielders and Varane would have advantage over Barcelona's players. We can see that Wan-Bissaka was faster than his mark and Varane is still running to the space, leaving 6 Barcelona's players behind. Therefore he received with time and space. Only 4 Barcelona's players are in their half, thus Varane could play a great through ball for Antony. For Manchester United's second goal, Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho were important. Barcelona dropped back to their half, yet they left 3 players on Man United's half. Nevertheless, they didn't press Varane or Lisandro Martinez. As a consequence, Martinez had time and space to look for the right pass. He played long to the left side with Luke Shaw. Koundé will go over him and Bruno Fernandes would go close to him and Rafinha was dropping back to cover Fernandes. When Shaw received the ball, Rafinha didn't catch Bruno. Nevertheless, Shaw didn't have a clear pass because he was surrounded by the lines and Koundé, but with a great movement he passed to Bruno Fernandes. He protected the ball with his body. Garnacho was coming close to him. When Bruno overcame Rafinha, Garnacho started to run to the space behind Busquets and Araujo. Bruno played a great ball to Garnacho. His shoot was deflected. Antony was free on the right because Rashford attracted to Balde. Fred's shot was also deflected. However, the ball went to Antony, who had time and space because Balde couldn't arrive on time. With a great volley, Antony scored. Leave your thoughts about Erik Ten Hag's tactics and Xavi's. Don't forget to subscribe and thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by Mètrica Sports, the fundamental tool for every coach and analyst. Create and manage all your video analysis in one platform. Use coupon NasirSelad at checkout for a 10% discount.